Former British British Minister Peter Mandelson has resigned from the Labour Party following new revelations about his connections to financier Jeffrey Epstein. The resignation follows the release of documents by the U.S. Department of Justice, which suggest Epstein made financial payments to Mandelson in 2003 and 2004. Mandelson has denied the claims, pledging to investigate, but stated that he did not want to cause further embarrassment to the party. Mandelson, a key figure in Labour's success under Tony Blair, had already been dismissed as the UK's ambassador to the US in 2025 due to his Epstein links. In related news, a massive release of Epstein files also included controversial photographs and emails involving Prince Andrew. The files revealed images of Andrew with an unidentified women and emails showing continued contact with Epstein after his 2008 conviction. Following the release, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has urged Prince Andrew to testify before the U.S. Congress. The scandal led to King Charles III stripping Prince Andrew of his royal titles in 2025. Now for this, we welcome former Ambassador K.P. Fabian. He's a former diplomat, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, as we continue to see a lot of political elites, their connections to Jeffrey Epstein comes out, how do you think this is changing the image that people have, the trust, the transparency that people used to have or still have on, political elites? And what more can we expect from this release of the latest release?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the important points is that the Department of Justice has not released the Epstein file. It has done what it claims redaction for the sake of protecting the identity of the victims. But my suspicion is, and I could be wrong, my suspicion is that the redaction has been made primarily to protect Trump. So that is point number one. Point number two is that what has now happened is that there is so much focus on Prince Andrew or former Prince Andrew, and also, as you mentioned, on Lord Mandelson, former UK ambassador to the United States. Now, the key question is not whether Bill Gates did something, not whether Clinton did something. The key question is, what is the involvement of President Donald Trump? Because he is in power, others are not in power. Now, I'm afraid that sort of focus is still not there in the media or elsewhere. Now, it is possible that the Department of Justice will be compelled by the House, the Congress, to come out with more revelations, and it is possible that such revelations might have implications for President Trump's popular standing.
Thank you for highlighting that. And as we know that President Donald Trump, yes, President Trump is of course under a lot of pressure for the release, but it seems like they have already passed the deadline, and then on top of that, this is a very slow, gradual release. So how do you think is this a tactic by the Trump administration to elongate this? What do you think this is the strategy behind this gradual release?
Well, the Trump administration strategy is to focus attention on other, actors or leaders, and thereby defocus attention on President Trump himself. And to an extent, it has succeeded because, you know, by till now, the vast majority of Republicans do not seem to be concerned. But nevertheless, in the MAGA movement, there is a very conservative, Christian conservative, monogamous wing, and they have started getting concerned. So as I said, it might, I repeat the word might, affect President Trump, but it has not yet seriously affected his popularity.
Right. And like you mentioned, there's so many things in President Trump's table right now, including the domestic things with ICE and Jeffrey Epstein and so many more. So how do you think President Trump will move to gain back some popularity that he has been losing recently?
Well, President Trump is capable of course correction when he is facing disaster. As we know, in the case of Greenland, he sort of walked back from military action. Then he walked back from imposition of tariffs on the 8 countries when European Union made it clear that they were going to hit back with what they call a bazooka. That is $107 billion worth of US exports to European Union would have been jeopardized. So then he walked back. Now, in the case of Mississippi, Minnesota, Mississippi, this ICE business, he again walked back for a while. Then he again, sort of reversed it. So, he is capable of it, but to what extent he is, what shall I say, connected with the reality, because he is surrounded by people, it's like a, like a court, of the king, where you don't tell the king anything which he doesn't like to hear. So that is there. And don't forget that President Trump is more or less completely isolated from professional bureaucracy, whether in the Department of State or elsewhere. He depends on his trusted appointees who do not always have the necessary competence. So there is a problem, and I do not think that the real estate tycoon in President Trump has realized that, recognized that problem in full measure.
Right. Thank you very much, Ambassador Fabian, for highlighting that. Please stay with us. Now we move on to our next news. U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he is hopeful of reaching a deal with Iran despite strong